Sophie's subtle romance. Sophie adjusted her glasses and stared at her laptop screen. The coffee shop buzzed around her. People chatted, cups clinked, and the smell of fresh coffee filled the air. She liked working here. It was better than her quiet apartment. At 32, Sophie lived alone in a small city apartment. She worked as a graphic designer. Her days were steady but sometimes lonely. She didn't mind too much. She had her routine, her plants, and her cat, Muffin. Still, she wondered if something was missing. Today was a regular Thursday. Sophie sipped her latte and typed an email. Her phone buzzed with a text from her friend, Lila. "Meet me tonight at the new wine bar," it read. Sophie hesitated. She wasn't big on going out, but Lila always pushed her to try new things. "Okay, see you at 7, Sophie replied. She smiled and went back to work. The wine bar was cozy. Dim lights hung from the ceiling. Soft music played in the background. Sophie wore a simple black dress. She felt a little nervous. Lila waved from a table near the window. "You look great," Lila said. Sophie laughed. "I feel out of place." Lila rolled her eyes. "You're fine. Let's get some wine." They ordered a bottle of red. The conversation flowed easily. Lila talked about her new job. Sophie shared a funny story about Muffin. Then Lila leaned in. "So, any cute guys in your life?" Sophie blushed. "No, you know me. I'm too busy for that." Lila smirked. "You're not too busy. You're just picky." Sophie shrugged. Maybe Lila was right. A man walked up to their table. He was tall with dark hair and a friendly smile. "Hi, I'm Ben," he said. "I noticed you two laughing. Mind if I join for a minute?" Lila grinned. "Sure, pull up a chair." Sophie felt her cheeks warm. Ben sat down and ordered a drink. He worked as a photographer. He traveled a lot and loved telling stories. Sophie listened quietly. His voice was calm and easy to follow. Ben turned to Sophie. "What do you do?" he asked. She pushed her glasses up. "I'm a graphic designer. I make logos and stuff." Ben nodded. "That's cool. I bet you're super creative." Sophie smiled. "I try." They talked for a while. Ben was funny but not loud. Sophie liked that. He didn't seem fake. Lila excused herself to the bathroom. Sophie panicked a little. Now it was just her and Ben. He leaned closer. "You have a great laugh," he said. Sophie's heart raced. Thanks, she mumbled. She wasn't used to compliments. Ben sipped his wine. Do you come here often? He asked. Sophie shook her head. First time. Lila dragged me out. Ben chuckled. Good friend. Lila came back and winked at Sophie. I hate to cut this short, Lila said, but I've got an early meeting. You two stay, though. Sophie wanted to protest, but Lila was already grabbing her coat. Text me later, Lila whispered. Then she was gone. Sophie felt awkward. Ben didn't seem to mind. Want to share some dessert? He asked. Sophie relaxed a little. Sure. They ordered chocolate cake. It was rich and sweet. Ben told her about a trip to Italy. Sophie shared a story about a bad client. They laughed a lot. The bar started to empty out. Sophie checked her phone. It was late. I should go, she said. Ben nodded. Can I get your number? He asked. Sophie froze. She hadn't given her number to anyone in years. But Ben seemed nice. Okay, she said. She typed it into his phone. Outside, the air was cool. Ben walked her to her car. I'll text you, he said. Sophie smiled. I'd like that. She drove home, feeling strange. Was this excitement? She wasn't sure. Muffin greeted her at the door. Sophie scratched his ears and went to bed. Her phone stayed quiet that night. The next morning, Sophie woke up early. She made coffee and checked her emails. Her phone buzzed. It was Ben. Hey, had fun last night. Want to grab coffee this weekend? Sophie stared at the message. She didn't know what to say. Part of her wanted to say yes. Part of her was scared. She typed, maybe. I'll let you know. She hit send. And groaned. Why was this so hard? At work, Sophie couldn't focus. Her coworker, Mia, noticed. You okay? Mia asked. Sophie sighed. I met a guy. Mia's eyes lit up. Tell me everything. Sophie explained the wine bar story. Mia clapped her hands. He sounds great. Say yes to coffee. Sophie frowned. What if it's a mistake? Mia shrugged. What if it's not? Sophie thought about it all day. By evening, she felt braver. She texted Ben. Coffee sounds good. Sunday? He replied right away. Perfect. There's a place called Brood Awakening. 10 a.m. Sophie smiled. See you there. She put her phone down. Her stomach fluttered. This was new. Sunday morning was sunny. Sophie picked a blue sweater and jeans. She didn't want to seem like she was trying too hard. Brood Awakening was small and bright. Ben was already there. He waved her over. "You look nice," he said. Sophie blushed. "Thanks. You too." They ordered coffee and sat by a window. The conversation was easy. Ben talked about his dog, Max. Sophie told him about Muffin. They laughed about pet disasters. Ben's eyes crinkled when he smiled. Sophie noticed. She liked it. He asked about her hobbies. "I draw a lot," she said. "And I read mysteries." Ben leaned forward. "I love mysteries. Got a favorite?" Sophie named a book. Ben knew it. They talked about the ending for 10 minutes. Time passed fast. Sophie felt comfortable. Ben wasn't pushy. He listened when she spoke. "This was fun," he said as they finished their drinks. "Want to do it again?" Sophie nodded. "Yeah, I'd like that." Ben grinned. "Cool. I'll text you." They said goodbye. Outside, Sophie drove home smiling. Muffin curled up next to her on the couch. She felt lighter than usual. The next week was busy. Sophie had a big project due. She worked late most nights. Still, she thought about Ben. He texted her every couple of days. Nothing heavy. Just small things. "Saw a funny dog today," he wrote. Once. Sophie laughed and replied, "Tell me more." It felt easy. She wasn't used to that. On Wednesday, Ben sent a longer message. "There's a street fair this Saturday. Food, music, art. Want to go?" Sophie stared at her phone. A fair sounded crowded. But it also sounded fun. She typed, "Sure, let's do it." Ben replied with a smiley face. Sophie shook her head. Was she really doing this? Saturday came fast. Sophie wore a light jacket and sneakers. The fair was in the park. Stalls lined the paths. People sold jewelry, paintings, and tacos. Music played from a small stage. Ben met her at the entrance. "Ready to eat everything?" he asked. Sophie laughed. "Maybe not everything." They started walking. The air smelled like grilled corn and sugar. Ben bought them lemonade. It was tart and cold. They stopped at a stall with handmade notebooks. Sophie ran her fingers over one. "This is pretty," she said. Ben nodded. "You should get it." She hesitated, then bought it. Ben smiled. "Good choice." They ate tacos at a picnic table. Sophie got sauce on her chin. Ben handed her a napkin. "You're a mess," he teased. Sophie grinned. "You're not wrong." They watched a band play. The singer had a soft voice. Sophie tapped her foot. Ben noticed. "You like music?" he asked. She nodded. "When it's good." The sun started to set. The fair lit up with string lights. Ben pointed to a photo booth. "Want to try it?" he asked. Sophie wasn't sure. "Come on," he said. "It'll be fun." They squeezed into the booth. It was tight. Their shoulders touched. Sophie's heart skipped. The camera flashed 4 times. They laughed at the pictures. Sophie looked goofy in one. Ben kept the strip. "For my fridge," he said. They walked to a quieter part of the park. The noise faded. Ben looked at her. "I'm glad you came," he said. Sophie met his eyes. "Me too." She meant it. They sat on a bench. The air was cool. Ben's arm brushed hers. Neither moved away. Sophie felt warm inside. Her phone buzzed. It was Lila. "How's the fair?" Sophie smiled. And typed, "Good. Really good." Lila sent a winking emoji. Sophie put her phone away. Ben was watching her. "Everything okay?" he asked. She nodded. "Just Lila being Lila." He chuckled. "She's fun." Sophie agreed. "She's the best." They talked about small things. Movies they liked. Places they wanted to visit. Ben mentioned a lake he loved. "Maybe we could go sometime," he said. Sophie's stomach flipped. Was that a date? She didn't ask. "Maybe," she said. Ben smiled. He didn't push. The fair was closing. People packed up stalls. Ben walked her to her car. "This was a great day," he said. Sophie nodded. It was. He stepped closer. For a second, she thought he might kiss her. But he didn't. "See you soon?" he asked. "Yeah," she said. Her voice was soft. He waved and walked away. Sophie sat in her car. Her heart was loud. At home, Muffin jumped on her lap. Sophie scratched his chin. She felt different. Not big different. Just a little. Like something was starting. She opened her new notebook. She wrote one word, today. It felt like enough. The next morning, Sophie woke up early. She made tea and sat by her window. Her phone lit up. Ben had sent a photo. It was the goofy picture from the booth. "This one's my favorite," he wrote. Sophie laughed. She saved the picture. "Mine too," she replied. Work was easier that week. Sophie hummed while she designed. Mia noticed. You're glowing, she said. Sophie rolled her eyes. I'm just in a good mood. Mia smirked. Sure. It's the guy, right? Sophie didn't answer. But she smiled. Ben texted again on Friday. Dinner tomorrow? Just us. Sophie's hands shook a little. Dinner felt bigger than coffee or affair. She thought about it. Then she typed, yes. She hit send before she could overthink. Ben replied, can't wait. Sophie put her phone down. She looked at Muffin. What am I doing? She asked. Muffin yawned. She laughed. Saturday night came. Sophie picked a green dress. It was simple but nice. The restaurant was small. Candles flickered on the tables. Ben was waiting outside. He wore a dark shirt. You look amazing, he said. Sophie's cheeks burned. Thanks. They went inside. Dinner was perfect. They shared pasta and talked. Ben told a story about his first camera. Sophie admitted she was shy as a kid. He listened like it mattered. She liked that. Dessert was tiramisu. They fought over the last bite. Sophie won. Ben pretended to be mad. They both laughed. Outside, the stars were bright. Ben took her hand. It was gentle. Sophie didn't pull away. I like you, he said. His voice was quiet. Sophie's breath caught. I like you too, she said. It felt true. He smiled. They stood there for a moment. Then he let go. I'll call you, he said. Sophie nodded. Good. She drove home slowly. Her mind was full. Muffin was waiting. She picked him up. I think I'm happy, she whispered. Her phone buzzed. Ben had sent a heart emoji. Sophie smiled. She didn't reply yet. She wanted to hold on to the feeling a little longer.